is something that you carry even when you go to the workplace. Even when you go to the workplace, this is something that you personally carry. And you will see that in most work organizations, you won't find really a respect policy, but you will find it as a value that is expected. If you look at our values, most companies, those values talk to the behavior in terms of how do we need to show up as individuals and as employees and as managers. That obviously, when you look at it, it talks about mainly respect. You will find that in most organizations, you will have honesty, you have truth, you will have integrity. So this is part of the values that are expected from each and every person that is employed and is working to make sure that they present themselves in this way. And what you would find also in most organizations is that they will say, yes, respect, but they will also indicate, the behaviors that are expected that will say you are really showing respect. For example, they say respect time. So if you don't respect time, then that means you are not following or in line with the value of the organization. And it is important, obviously, for each and every organization to have those values, but it differs from organization to organization. But my point here is that as an individual, as a person, you grew up in different sets of behaviors, and part of the society, in where we stay, in where we live, in South Africa as a whole, it's about respect. And now that we are in the month that we're in, and yesterday we were just celebrating human rights. Part of the rights is to respect the dignity of a person. So it might not be something that is written at work as a policy, but if you look at our constitution, it is endorsed there. And it is something that we actually need to live by and to make sure that wherever that we go, we respect human dignity and we respect people in general. So that's what I wanted to say there.
Thank you so much for that. So we know there are policies now in place which says respect each other, don't do this to someone. But the men that we are working with, more especially as women in these industries, they will not always follow those policies. So I think that's when the author says, yeah, you must have your own respect policy as an individual to say, this is my respect policy, and you define your own respect to say, this is what respect means to me. And that is why we have to set boundaries. That comes to my next question to Precious. Precious, on my question is, when did you realize that you need to set boundaries at work? And what are those boundaries that you are setting around yourself? Precious, are you there?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, mommy.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, guys. Forgive me, my bambinos are with me. Unfortunately, being a mother is something else quite special. Thank you so much, guys, for... Am I audible? Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity. I hope somebody will take away something, even if it's just one point from what I have to say. And I'm also quite excited to be learning a lot from you guys also. Well, for me, boundaries, I decided the very first quarter of me being in the mining industry. That was way back in 2009. And what happened was I showed up wearing a dress. I was still a partly qualified trainee then, studying towards my BTech. I showed up in the mines wearing a dress. It was a respectable length, well below my knee. But the way the underground men looked at my legs, you would swear I was wearing a bum short or a mini skirt. It was as if they've never seen legs in their entire existence. So I decided there and there to say, you know what, as much as I can say, don't call me this, don't do that, boundaries starts with what I portray towards them. People will always judge you for what they see, Chava. No, baby. People will always judge you for what they see and what they hear. So the way you dress gives a first impression of you. They will make a conclusion of the type of person or your character simply because of the way you are dressed. And people will also decide whether you are wise or clever or part of the fools based on what comes out of your mouth. They always say, out of the overflow of your heart or your mind, your mouth also shall then talk. So what you say is very, very important. Who you associate with also. You cannot be part of the group that is seen as destructive in a work environment and expect to be respected. So for me, I feel before I can say, I expect this and this and this from you, I need to present myself in a manner that is, so I need to dress accordingly. I need to talk the right things. I need to watch what I say in front of people, because what I say goes a long way, not only towards how people perceive me, but also to the next person, what it does to the next person. It has the ability to break or build that person, and then the people you associate with. So then the boundaries that I decided to set for myself was that I will have no relations in the work environment, especially with men who are in my line of work. Let's say, for example, if I'm a young graduate, I will never date a mine overseer. I will never date an engineer. Reason being, I wanted my efforts to be seen. And when the time comes for me to grow within an organization, I want it to be purely on merit. And I wanted everyone below me to see that it was purely on merit and nothing else, even though I will know that it's purely on merit, but the talk that will go along with it to say, oh, she got that promotion because she's sleeping with so-and-so, it can have a very detrimental effect on your career as a person, or on the respect level that you then get from the people that are supposed to be reporting to you. So that is the one rule I set for myself, to say I will never date anyone in the working environment. And also, I will never make a male colleague feel like they are more than a colleague. There are certain things that we allow as women that go beyond what we should allow. Say, for example, a male colleague calling me after hours for personal reasons and nothing work-related. Such things to me are totally unacceptable. It's okay to receive calls at night. My line of work, I'm always on standover, but let it be purely because of work, not because you're feeling bored or you don't have anything to do, or you just feel it's okay to WhatsApp me. That is a total no-no. I tell that person same time to say, thank you for sending the message, but unfortunately, I cannot engage in such conversation. If what you're saying has nothing to do with work, then I will see you tomorrow. That's just how I sent the message through, in a very respectable manner. And they do understand. These men do understand. Another boundary I set for myself, now this is also including the women in the work environment, is that I will not create friendships. Reason being, I found that when you've got friends who are within the organization and you now grow, they expect you to do certain favors for them, which sometimes are breaking the law or misusing your powers and your level of authority as a person. Maybe giving them leave or sending them for training when they are undeserving, such favors as that. So I decided, yes, there can be sisterhood. Yes, I can say Sister Ziningi there, she's my sister, but I will never form friendships so much that they interfere with my work. So for me, that's basically it. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Never allow a main colleague to feel more than a colleague. Yeah, so that's one of the points that I picked up there. So as women in these industries, it's good that you can be approachable, you can be nice, but there are boundaries that we need to set. And as you have heard from Precious, from her experience, she had to set that from the start. The easiest way to set boundaries is from the start. Don't allow something to happen from the beginning. If you have to stop someone, you stop them from the beginning. So as we move to the next one, it's practicing assertiveness. So here the author says that as a female in the male-dominated industry, when you think you are assertive, that's when most will view you as either being aggressive or being submissive. You know, assertiveness it's between the two for a woman. For a man can either be submissive or assertive, but as a woman, they always see you as either you are aggressive or you are submissive. So yeah, she says that for you to be assertive, you need to be honest when you are talking to people. Be honest in every statement that you give, and then give it direct. And then also learn to say no without apologizing. If you cannot be able to do something, if you do not agree with something, you must learn to say no without apologizing. So here she continues to say that one of the ways to be assertive is making self-statements. For example, myself as a minor, you come out, you blasted your panels. Don't come to report that we did this, we did it. You are the leader. That team was working under you. Go out to make a bold statement that I blasted so and so panels. So that is another way to show assertiveness. You take ownership, and then also do not make indecisive statements. Like you want to give an instruction, but you giving it as a suggestion. How about we go and support that panel? Give it as an instruction. It's an instruction. Give it, go and support this and so panel. And by doing so, it doesn't mean that you have to be rude. You don't have to be rude at all, but you just have to be honest. You just have to be direct. You just have to be able to say no without feeling guilty. And you just have to be able to make those statements that says, I'm the one that have to take credit for achieving this and this. That is what the author is saying here. So that one, it brings me to my second question. I will start with Precious. Can I start with you? Okay. How are you often viewed at work? Are you often viewed as being aggressive or submissive? And how do you practice being assertive?
Ask the people below me, majority would say I'm aggressive. But yeah, I think towards targets, towards the bottom line, towards campaigns that we as an organization have decided to push, I am aggressive in that regard. There's no two ways about it. I'm very aggressive on the bottom line. But in terms of practicing assertiveness, for me, what works is before any meeting or any interaction with my people, I plan. I thoroughly plan, I think things through. And when I go in there, I am sure of what I'm going to do and what I'm going to say and what I've decided upon. I am not double-minded. My no is my no, my yes is my yes. And what works for me is giving clear, specific instructions that come along with a timeline. And when that timeline is due, I follow up. And if things are not done the way they are supposed to be done, discipline should definitely follow. Now, obviously, when discipline follows, you need to do a bit of an investigation to find out, did the people not carry out what you wanted because of incompetency or because of just pure negligence? If it's incompetency, then you will coach, you will train. But if it's pure negligence, then definitely you need to be assertive and discipline where discipline is due. So when you allow discipline to fall off, people tend to think now that you are more towards the submissive and the passive, and they can walk over you and do as they please, especially when you are a woman. So that's what works for me, planning things through and allowing my no to be a no. If I say no, I mean no. There's no two ways about it.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that one. As you can see, there's many points from what the leader said, the author said about being direct. There's no two ways about something. There's always one way. It's either you go do this or you don't do that. If it's a yes, it's a yes. If it's a no, it's a no. And then, Meziningi, what's the importance of being assertive for a woman who's just starting in the male-dominated industry? What is the importance of them learning to be assertive?
It is very important for you to be assertive. But it is also important that you understand your worth as a person, because you can practice being assertive if you understand that you are worthy as a person. You have the confidence. When you enter the room, you don't enter the room submissively. You don't enter the room with doubt. You don't have that thing that I don't belong. You take charge of where you are to say, this is my territory, this is my place, I belong, I have the strength, I have the wisdom, I have the power to manage. That is something that you need to build as an individual and as a person, and no one else is going to build it for you. So it starts with you having confidence in your ability as a person and understanding. The Bible says, I am fearfully and wonderfully created, So once you start believing that I am wonderful, I am beautiful, I am powerful, I am strong, you are on the right track on being assertive. And I remember when I started in my career as, when I started then, I started as a labor controller, and they used to call us Abomasiza, those who've been in the mining industry for a long time. And, obviously the work of an LCA is to work with the mine overseer or the shift bosses or the shift supervisors. So when I went there, that guy just decided to scream and shout at me. And I was still young and still new, but I decided to be assertive, and I decided to say, you are not going to treat me like that, So I'm not going to accept that kind of a treatment. If you want to talk to me, then you better change the way you are raising your voice to me. That is in a way of being assertive, because remember, we teach people how they should treat us. If you sit and allow that means the next time the person is also going to do it. But if you say, no, don't do that to me, that's not how I expect you to treat me, then next time they will know how to treat you. And also being assertive, it never allow guilt to stand in your way. You should not feel guilty for saying no. You should not feel guilty for expecting a certain level of engagement or expecting a certain level of behavior. Never feel guilty about that, because that is also still part of setting up boundaries, because you're saying to people, this is how you should treat me. This is how I expect you to talk to me, not you just expect anyhow, and people talk to you in any way that they want to talk to you, because that also talks about you respecting yourself, like we've said earlier on. So it is critical that you learn to be assertive. Also, the other point of being assertive, clear communication is important. Speak clearly what you want, and speak clearly what you don't want. Because if you don't speak clearly, people will not know. Is it hot? Is it cold? What do we do? Because it also talks to the issue of boundaries. One of the things in boundaries is physical boundaries. The touching, the personal space. Do you as a woman allow that at work? You allow people to do that to you, because once you allow people to do that, then they take advantage of you. So you need to be assertive to say, no, don't do that, because it borderlines now to issues of discipline, which is issues of sexual harassment.
Okay, so now here you are hearing this, that now I must be assertive. I must be able to boldly say no. I must be able to say, no, don't talk to me like that. Don't touch me like that. No, this is my instruction, say that. So now it brings us to the next topic of being true to yourself and also crafting your leadership style. Now, it is difficult because now you have to go. So being assertive, it sounds as if you are being told to just go there and be aggressive. Go there and be that man that will say, this is my final word, you do it or you jump, But now, how do you stay true to yourself, and how do you craft your leadership style? Because at the end of the day, you need to be yourself. I need to be unity. I don't need to be precious. I need to be unity with my own leadership style. So going back to the book, the author here is saying that we are women. After all, as a women, you can see our speakers are managers, but they're all wives, they're sisters, we are all in one. We come with a lot of responsibilities. There's a lot that has been instilled in us. We cannot go to work and just be leaders only. We are still mothers. According to the book, it says, do not try to be a male leader. And in doing that, now you become a female leader. We have emotions. Women are too emotional. She warns about mixing your emotions with work. Try as hard as you are assertive, and then you are building on your own leadership style. Try to work on your emotions. Don't try to mix the mixed conduct and the person. I like the fact that she says there's the difference between a misconduct and the person that has done the misconduct. So, and when you look at a situation at work, you must always look at it like that. Look at a misconduct. Do I punish the misconduct, or do I punish the person who has done the misconduct? So that brings me to another question to you, Precious. What is your leadership style, and how did you craft that leadership style that you are using now?
So to give a name to a leadership style is something else. Honestly speaking, I have never sat down and say, this is what I would call it, but I know very well what makes me win. And for me to remain true to who I am and continue crafting my leadership trait is that I got over my fear of failing. I understood very well that failure was part of the process. I will not win month on month, and it's okay for the month where I fail. What makes it okay is me going back and checking why I failed and learning something from it and never repeating the same thing again. If it was a mistake I made, it has to take me the guts to say, yes, I failed. Be able to admit it, whether be it to your superior or to the crew that you are leading. You should be able to say, I failed you, or to say, I failed, I will do better. So getting over that fear is one thing that has helped me. The second thing is, like I said, knowing what makes me win. So I'll give an example with what has worked for me since I became a miner, basically. I take my people with me. I never leave them behind. If there is a target that we need to push or a new campaign that we need to enforce, I take them with me. I make them part of the planning process. I make them the soldiers on the ground. So instead of me pushing them, they then push themselves. And I go back and I give them feedback. I keep them informed. And when we have won, I give them the necessary appreciation. A simple thank you goes a long way, you know. And when we have failed, I still go back to the same team and say, guys, we tried, but we did not do enough, and explain to them why we failed and how we can change things. So I take my people along, you know. I do not make decisions on my own and try to push my own agenda and not make it my people's agenda. Because at the end of the day, a target is a target until it will remain your own target until you have made it understood and to your people, you have made them well understand what they need to do on a daily basis in order for them to achieve that. Another thing is for one to accept their weaknesses. We all have weaknesses. You cannot be 100%. Otherwise, you are not a human being. You are something else. So understanding your weaknesses as a female leader, some of us are not, okay, I'm very emotionally strong. Let me just give an example of what happened for me to be the way I am. I was not this emotionally strong until one day when I was underground. A male leader who is as old as my father said to me, I was being introduced to a new crew. As a new graduate, I didn't know mining. He said to me, "Mina ikona job analomfaz." It means I will never work with a woman. I refuse to take an instruction from a woman. Now I'm going there to be the miner of this crew. What do you do as a woman when males are rejecting you there at the waiting place? What do you do? So I decided to go to the back area and I cried my lungs out. And I remember I wrote on the soil while I was crying, and I say, from this day, precious, you will never cry. From this day, these men are employees. You are also an employee. They will do as you say. You are not a woman, you are an employee. They will do as you say. As long as your instructions are legal, they are lawful, and they are within the safety standards, they will do as you say. If needs be, you will enforce discipline. So I decided there and there. And since then, I don't shed a tear. Maybe when I'm driving home on my own, but in the workplace, I will never do that. It helped me grow so much emotionally that I'm able to stand whatever comes my way, basically. And the last thing that works for me is to never be too proud to say sorry, be it to the lowest level. As a section manager, as I am, I should be able to look an LHD operator and say, I'm sorry, I failed you. That does not make me lose respect as a leader. It actually makes me gain it. From my experience, I gain more of their respect when I admit my mistakes as their leader. They tend to understand me more. They tend to want to work with me more than when I have this wall to say, I am not wrong. I'm a manager. How can I be wrong? You know? So that is how I remain true to myself. And it really works. And Unity, you know me for some time now. Ziningi, you know, numbers don't lie. It works for me. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. So what I get from Precious that she's leading from the front. She doesn't believe in sitting in the office and sending her team to go out there and work. She leads from the front. She might be in the office, but then they see her leading them from the front. That is her leadership style. So as an HR specialist, when you are recruiting for women leaders or for females in positions at these mines or manufacturing industries, what qualities are you actually looking for from these women so that there will be no gender clashes?
I think we are all different as leaders and we lead differently. But the competences that are actually required from a leadership perspective, you need someone, because remember, this is a person who's going to lead people. So you need someone that understands team alignment and teamwork. And because the person needs to be able to pull the team together. Like Precious was saying, you need to be able to pull the team together. If you are this kind of a person who wants to be the only person that is seen in the room, then there's a problem with you as a leader, because as a leader, you are leading people. You need someone that is a visionary, someone that can see where we are going and be able to guide the team to that destination. But you also need someone who is able to delegate work to different individuals based on their strength and based on their abilities and based on their skills. You do have your KPI, which is your key performance indicators for the people, but there are other projects that will come where you realize that, Unity is actually very good when it comes to Excel. She may be able to do this for us as a team, and she may be able to present this. So and so is very good when it comes to marketing a project, or marketing some other things that we want to do. So it's important that as a leader, you understand the strength of your people. Again, it's important as a leader to be interested in the development of your people. If you're a leader and you're not interested in making your people grow and developing them, then there's a problem, because that simply means you don't want people to grow and you just want to stay there forever and ever, which is not possible. Because remember, when you develop people, you develop them either upwardly or sideways. So it's important that as a leader, what we're looking for someone that is able to develop the people. But what is important about leadership, again, is that as much as people are working for the company, this is what I always say to the leaders, as much as people are working for the company, but they must reach a point where they work for you as a leader. They in such a way that they say, we don't want to disappoint Precious. She has set the targets for us. And that only happens when you are able to connect with the people. If you are this high up leader that is unable to come to the level of the people, because another thing that a leader needs to be is to be able to reach your levels. If you are this high up leader, you are unable to reach the levels of other people, you are unable to talk to the general assistant, you are unable to talk to the LSD driver, you are high up there, then it's going to be a problem, because people are not going to feel like, we want to make sure that Precious achieve. And we know that it's not only just Precious, but it's all of us that are achieving the targets. So these are the things that we look at. And we also look at organizational fit. Each and every organization has got its culture. So when we sit down with you, do we get the feel that you will fit in the organization and in the culture, because we also don't want to misfit there. And each and every organization, they've got their culture, of which it's entrenched, and they would like, obviously, to keep it. But key to everything, there is a book written by Maxwell, John Maxwell. I love him very much. He writes about 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. Because remember, leadership is not something that you are born with. You grow in it. You build leadership, and the more you read about it, the more you actually get to sharpen your leadership knowledge and your leadership skill. And it's important as a leader to love the people that you work with, because you cannot lead the people if you don't love the people, and if you also don't love the work that you are doing. So you better love the people that you work with, because that's how you are going to groom them. That's how you are going to grow them. If you don't love and appreciate each and every skill that the people bring in the workplace, then it will be difficult for you to actually grow the people. But as an advice to upcoming leaders, it's important that you have a clear leadership philosophy statement that you write about yourself, because leadership comes, again, from your beliefs, your principles, your sentiments. That's where leadership comes from. And that is what you are groomed from in terms of at home. So it's important to also sit and be intentional if you want to be a leader, be intentional to say, how do I define leadership as a person? And what beliefs and values do I bring in the leadership space? And what conduct and behavior do I bring? And how do I nurture those qualities that I already have? Because remember, everyone already has the quality. It's just the matter of how, therefore, do I grow them, and what else do I learn in the process? Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. So whether you're a leader, whether you're just a junior in your office, as long as you're in the workplace, you must be ready to deal with the people's mess. If you're gonna be leading people one day, you must know that you'll have to be dealing with whatever that comes with them. Then you must love people. You must be able to apologize, like Precious said, when you are wrong. So you must be able to build a good and healthy relationship with people. You cannot survive by being an individual. You need to get closer to people, get to understand their culture, and then try to compare your culture with them and your values. And that one as well brings me to the next topic, shifting your mindset. So I've come across lots of graduates, lots of juniors in these male-dominated industries, who most of them have accepted that, you know what, I've accepted this company is like this, or this industry is like this. They will never promote me. They will never develop me, So the author here is talking about shifting your mindset around that there will come challenges in your career where you need to shift your mindset. And she recommends like checking what you was talking about, your company values with your own values as an individual, and then see what you can compromise. Because at the end of the day, the company is not going to be changing most of the things just to accommodate you. There's some way that you need to adjust yourself in order to fit in the structure of that company or of that organizations. So Precious, I'll just ask you, have you ever been a moment in your career where you felt like you are stuck, and how does shifting your mindset around the challenges at the workplace help you, and how do you actually shift your mindset? What are the steps that you do to shift your mindset around challenges?
Thanks again. Yeah, I reached that phase when I was a shift boss. As a graduate, if you're a shift boss for more than 3 years, you start to worry. You start to think, is there something wrong with me? Is it something wrong I'm doing? Is it that they don't like me? Sometimes you find yourself with no one to talk to. Back then, I didn't even have a mentor. I was a shift boss for 5 years, 4 years, as a fully graduate with 2 degrees, with a business degree also, nobody recognizing those qualifications. But you know what I found was always going to work and doing more than what is expected of you pays. The reason why I am saying this is because when the company I was working for, where I stayed for more than 5 years, I continued to do my best. And the unfortunate part was that the mine decided to go on a Section 189 just when I was about to hit jackpot. I was just told after 5 long years of doing more than what was expected of me that I was going to be a project manager, to be sent to Sweden for training for this new rock cutter, like a coal cutter, continuous coal miner. So there's one that was developed for hard rock, for platinum, and I was going to be the lead of that project. Now imagine from a shift boss to a project manager of Atlas. That was big. But unfortunately, the company closed, and I then looked for a job at Poison Down as a shift boss. When I got there, I told myself, I'm going to continue to be the same person who does more than what is expected, regardless of the fact that it feels like the past 5 years was a waste of time, because now I'm meeting new people who don't know me. new managers. I need to prove myself all over again. It feels like I'm just being appointed day one as a shift boss. Chances are I might stay a shift boss for the next 5 years, but I didn't allow that to stop me. I went there 3 months down the line of me exceeding my targets. I started acting as a mine overseer. Nobody knew me at Boysendal Mine. I just got there, portrayed the right attitude, made myself known. I didn't make myself known by talking too much. I talk. I'm very talkative, but I made myself known by my actions. I made sure that my achievements were very loud and bold. 3 months down the line, I started acting as a mine overseer. And when I acted on that month, I still made sure that I did my best. It's amazing what 1 month of acting can do for you. People feel like you need to maybe act for 6 months plus for you to be recognized. I acted for a month and I excelled in that month. When my mine overseer came back, I continued as a shift boss for 9 more months. 9 months down the line, I got appointed as a mine overseer. Now, this is a period of a year of me stepping into a new organization. I could have thought to myself, well, I've wasted 5 years of my time. I'm in a new company. I'm going to be here 5 more years. I might as well relax the first year. Where would I have been now? You understand what I'm saying? So always going in full force and do more than what is expected and let your actions speak volumes. Make sure that what you do is loud and is bold and everybody wants to know, who is this girl they call Precious? Who is this girl they call Unity? I hear she's the best shift boss in this company. That is what will make you known. That is what will push you to the top.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As much as you may feel stuck, it is good never to shift your eyes from the end goal. Always remember why you started. So don't give up if you are at that stage. So the author here is touching on the importance of having a routine to release stress after work, because we're working in the very stressful industries. So there are tips that is recommending in the book on how you can release stress from work. And then now I'm no longer going to take much of your time. As I said, I'm not going to go through the entire book. The book is very small. For me, I carry it even underground. That's how much I love the book. It's got 52 tips, which you can go through. Some of the tips that are here, it's how to level up to your position, how to be your own motivator, how to manage your emotions at work, how to deal with toxic bosses, you know, and then how to navigate working with Black managers and also working with white managers. Those are some of the tips that are in this book that I have here. So like I said, start of the session, we do have the author with us here of this book. So Tinyiko, I welcome you. And can you please just tell us, with the minutes that are remaining, what motivated you to write this book?
Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me well. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone who has chosen to attend this very important meeting. You know, guys, this is very important for me. You don't know. You've just confirmed that I can sell the book with pride. That is the confirmation that I got from this meeting. Okay, so thank you to everyone. Thank you to Ntusheko. Thank you so much, Unity, for initiating this very important meeting. Thank you to Precious. Thank you to Ms. Pearl. I appreciate everyone who has attended this meeting, believe me, okay? Guys, I've been in the industry for 22.5 years. I've been in the motor industry, I've been in the open cast mining, I've been in manufacturing. Everywhere that I've been, I've led males, and I've been having male superiors. So I've been in between them. So my subordinates were males and my superiors were males as well. So it was, I can say it was difficult until I understand some of the things that I've written in the book. And about 10 years before I left the industry, it was better. It was better because then I understood what was going on in that industry. So, but the one thing that hit me is that every time when I get to the industry, I would hire females. You know, I've been the lover of promoting females since I started working, since I've realized that there's a gap, you know, that we need to fill as people in the male-dominated industries. So everywhere, each and every company that I would go to, I would advocate for hiring females. But when I started this coaching business of mine, I realized that, Norman, 20 years, 22 years down the line, the challenges that I had are still the same. So my coaches are going through the same challenges that I went through 22 years ago. And that was a disturbing factor, really. I was aware, but I didn't know that the problem is large, you know, it's as large as it is, you understand? So I then realized that, no man, the disrespect is still there. The swearing is still there. The entitlement is still there. Women are still going through the rough patch when they get into the industry, you know? And there's a difference. So they go through the disrespect from white bosses, and that disrespect is different from black bosses. That is why in the book, I decided to differentiate the challenges that you are going to get when you are led by black bosses and when you are led by white bosses, because I had both leadership, you know, I was under both leadership. So I had to differentiate that in the book, you know. So I found myself advocating for women in the company, you know. I found myself protecting them, you know, making sure that I'm fighting for them. When something is happening and I think it's unfair, I would go and, you know, and fight and do all those things until I decided to write the book, guys, after I have left the industry and started a coaching business, especially for women who are leading in the male-dominated industries. I sat down and I was like, I want to write a book, but I didn't know how to approach this book until I researched about the people who would go to war, you know, the soldiers and the commanders who were going to war. I asked myself, how were they approaching the enemy, you know? So I found the answer that they would prepare for the enemy. They would research. They would find everything about the enemy so that they can be able to win the battle. So when they prepare themselves better, then they will win the battle. So I sat down and said, okay, my book will be about preparing women who are in the male-dominated industries about the challenges that they are going to meet in that industry or in that company, you know? So I sat down and said, but I don't want my book to be, you know, a mere leadership book. No, you know, I wanted it to speak volumes to those women. I wanted them to understand the practicality of being in the male-dominated industries. And I wrote each and every, not even each and every, some, because there's still a lot that I had to write about. So I started writing some of the practical activities that happened to me, and I jot them down, and I was like, this is what I want women to prepare themselves, you know, about when they get into the male-dominated industries. And also I thought about, no, I need you know, we need to fight this battle in a different way. Everybody's talking, the government is talking, there's institutions that are talking and everything, but I wanted the book to talk in a different way. I wanted the ladies to be confident, you know. I wanted them not to fear failure. You know, when you get into the industry and you fear focal, you know, we call Malema fear focal, you know. So you need to have that thing of you fear focal. You want to get into the industry with a winning mind, you know. You must be there because you want to win and you are going to win. So I started coming with the points that can help women to prepare themselves in that when they get into the male-dominated industry, it's not about battling to be accepted. You know, I realized that most of the women, we get into the industry and we battle to be accepted rather than battling performance or growth or, you know, normal things, achieving targets. Our battles need to be about those things, but instead we battle to be accepted in the industry. So my book is also making sure that you do not battle acceptance. You start by accepting yourself that you are a leader and you are going to win. In that way, they will accept you in return. You see? So that is how I crafted my book. My book is very different, guys. It's written in my own way. I didn't follow any status quo or you need to write a book like this. And I've always been somebody who is impulsive. You know, I would do whatever that I think I must do it at that time. And so my book is very, very different. When you get the book, you will see that, okay, yeah, this is Tinyiko's book. It's very different from many authors. So you will get that feeling that the book is very different. I didn't follow any status quo. I just wrote the book. I just wrote the book that I wanted women in the male-dominated industries to prepare themselves, you know, to understand, you know, what they're getting themselves into, you understand? Because when they understand what they're getting themselves into, they're going to win the battle. Okay, so thank you so much. That is how I decided to write the book. This book, I wrote it, I think, 2 years back, as I was telling Tusheko. There's a main book that I wrote, and it was very difficult for me to finish it because of all the experience that I had. And the last chapter is very, very disturbing for me to finish it. So I decided, okay, let me take 52 points that I think women need them very fast and do this book, the one that is currently on sale. And then that's where I put the current book on sale. But the main book, it's sort of it's therapeutic to me. And then I'm struggling to finish it because, yeah, there's a lot that happened in my 22 years and a half in the male-dominated industries. But I'm hoping to release it very soon. But for now, this one, it's a very important and a very encouraging book that you can buy in order to prepare yourself to lead in the male-dominated industries. Okay. Thank you so much, Ntuteko.
Thank you so much. So we heard it from the author. The reason she wrote the book was to give us a tool as women to go to war with. We are at war in these industries. And then here are the tools that we need. For me, this has been very helpful. So in closing, I'm going to quote from the book. But before I quote the book, it's only 305 rands. That includes delivery. And then you can get her on LinkedIn. She's there as Tinyiko Motileni. And you can also contact me for more of about her details. I'll send them to you as well. So in the book here, she says that knowing that you are bringing the whole lot to help the employer, it is very important as a woman. You are a woman, for God's sake. When have we ever done things half as women? Have we ever given birth to a half child and said the other half will give birth to later, because you don't want to, you first want to see if the first half of the body's work is working or not. Say, no, we don't do that as a woman. It has never happened. It will never happen. We were created to increase. We're created to nurture, to help, to teach, and to do anything that will transform lives every time. So you must know that it is in your nature to bring 100% to the table as a woman. Sometimes even more without knowing, because you don't have to practice it. It is in you. You don't have to work twice as much to prove that you can do the job men work once. No one is asking them to do work twice as much. So this is what she quoted, and she left us with that to say, we are women. We do things 100% or above 100%. We've never done things half. So to everyone that has taken their time to attend the session, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Byrony, I appreciate your time. Precious, I appreciate your time. Ziningi, I appreciate your time. And our author, I really appreciate your time. I'll be giving the information to the people who will need the book. I would also like to get an order in Ladybag that people will come and get it from my house. I would love that. Thank you so much and have a great day, guys.
Well done, Unity. Thank you so much.
Hello, Sissy. Hi.
Oh, yes. I didn't hear the last part, but I just wanted to say thank you for the invite. I had just, problem with electricity, load shedding. So yeah, so I tried to join in with my phone, but volume wise, I just couldn't hear.
Sorry.
Tinyiko, are you still there?
Yes, yes, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I just wanted to say apologies about that.
Okay. Miss Pat?
Okay, all right, no, that's fine. I can see that everything is so I'm going to leave you for the invite.
Okay.
Looking forward to getting the book.
I'll definitely send it. Where are you based, Ms. Pearl?
Pardon?
Where are you based? In Leidenberg.
Oh, I'm based in Leidenburg.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I'm with Precious. We are both here in Leidenburg.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yes, we both work for Northern.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
All right,
was-
thanks
Tinyiko.
then. Precious, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Precious.
Hear me.
I'm saying bye. See
Bye.
you soon.
Yes. A month from now.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But you were doing the mommy duties.